Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're getting our hands dirty, metaphorically speaking, with a really interesting bit of kit.
Yeah, this one's quite specialized.
It is. It's the A-Neuvideo ANI-PIP-44UHD 4x4 seamless video switcher. Quite a mouthful.
It certainly is.
Our goal here is to figure out how this box tackles a pretty tough job, managing 4 distinct 4K video sources
Right.
and sending them out to 4 different displays all at the same time and, crucially, seamlessly.
Think of it as a high-speed traffic cop for video signals. It's all about routing and control.
Before we get into the deep tech, maybe the basics. What's the damage and who's it for?
Okay, yeah. So price-wise, you're looking at around $981.75, give or take.
Okay.
And it's a 4x4 seamless matrix switcher. It's also, interestingly, TAA compliant.
Ah, TAA compliant. So that's important for like government or specific institutional bids, right?
Exactly. It meets those trade agreement requirements. And HDTV Supply backs it with a 3-year limited warranty, which isn't bad.
All right, let's unpack the core tech. We're talking high-stakes video here.
Yeah.
Systems where you just can't have glitches.
Absolutely. Foundational stuff first. It's built around HDMI 2.0, and crucially, it's HDCP 2.2 compliant. Supports HDR too.
Okay, standard high-end specs so far. But the real story seems to be the data rate.
That's where it gets impressive. We're talking 18 gigabits per second of video bandwidth. It uses lossless compression, but that massive pipe is what lets it handle 4K resolution at 60 frames per second.
4K 60. And not just any 4K 60, right? The color space matters.
Yes, exactly. It supports 4.4.4 chroma subsampling.
Okay, now 4.4.4. For someone maybe just setting up, say, a meeting room, is that overkill or is that for the real high-end stuff?
Well, that's the key distinction, isn't it? If you're doing serious video work, color grading, maybe broadcast graphics, detailed medical imaging, that sort of thing, 4.4.4 gives you perfect color information, no compression artifacts in the color detail.
So uncompromised color.
Precisely. You know, cheaper switches might top out at 4.2.2 or even 4.2.0, which is fine for a lot of content, but if you need absolute color integrity, 4.4.4 is non-negotiable.
Okay.
This box is for people who need that.
Gotcha. And physically, the connections. Straightforward.
Pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah.
4 HDMI inputs, Type A, 19-pin female, and 4 HDMI output, same spec.
What about audio? Sometimes that gets overlooked in video switchers.
Not here. It's actually quite robust on the audio side. It handles embedded audio, of course, but also lets you de-embed it.
Oh.
You get 4 dedicated optical audio outputs, SPDIF, 1 for each video out, plus LR analog audio in and out via Phoenix connectors.
Okay, so flexible and formats.
Supports standard LPCM, but also the big ones like Dolby True HD and DTS HD master audio. So yeah, pretty comprehensive for integrating into complex sound systems.
All right, let's circle back to that key phrase, seamless switching. What does that actually mean in practice? Why is it a headline feature?
It means when you switch from, say, input 1 to input 3 on one of the displays, there's no black screen, no flicker, no freeze frame, no glitch.
0 frame loss.
Exactly, 0 frame loss. Imagine you're in a live presentation or maybe a critical control room. Any disruption, even for a fraction of a second, is jarring.
Yeah.
Unacceptable, really.
How does it do that? Buffer internally.
Yeah, essentially. It buffers and scales the incoming video signals internally before sending them to the output. So the transition is perfectly smooth to the viewer.
Okay, that makes sense. And once you have those stable, switchable feeds, this thing becomes more than just a switcher, right? The multi-viewer part.
Oh yeah, it's way more than just A/B switching. It's got really sophisticated multi-viewer capabilities. We're talking 12 different display modes.
12, like?
Well, your standard quad view, showing all 4 sources at once. But also picture-in-picture, picture-out-of-picture PIP, various configurations for layering sources on one screen.
And video walls, too.
Yep, it supports 9 different splicing modes if you want to combine the outputs to create a larger video wall display.
That scaling feature you mentioned must be vital then if you're mixing sources or creating walls.
Absolutely critical. Each of the 4 inputs can be scaled independently by the switcher itself.
So you don't need the source or the display to handle scaling mismatches?
Right. The switcher takes care of it, ensuring everything looks correct. It does the heavy lifting.
And controlling all this complexity. I see front panel buttons and an LCD.
Yeah, you've got options. Front panel for quick changes. An IR remote is included. But for serious integration, you've got RS-232 serial control and probably most importantly, a web GUI.
Ah, network control via the RJ45 port.
Exactly. TCP/IP control through a web browser. Plus, you get other essential pro features like advanced ED management to handle display compatibility and CEC control.
So it's this powerhouse of video processing, 18 gigs, seamless switching, and Complex Multi-View, packed into a surprisingly normal-looking rack-mountable box, less than 18 inches wide, weighs under 6 pounds.
Yeah, it's dense tech. But all that speed, that 18 Gbps over HDMI,
Yeah.
it comes with a catch, a very physical limitation.
The reality check. Let me guess. Cables?
Cables. The documentation is really clear on this. You need to use premium high-speed HDMI cables. Even then, even with the best cables, for that full-fat 4K 60 4.4.46 signal, your maximum reliable cable length is just 5 meters.
5 meters? That's only about, what, 16 feet?
Yep, 16 feet, that's it.
Wow, that feels incredibly short for such a powerful device. It really limits where you can physically place things.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental constraint of pushing that much data over copper HDMI.
Yeah.
It means no matter how smart the box is, the physical the cable itself becomes the weakest link if you try to stretch it too far. The Achilles heel, you could say.
So the takeaway for you listening, if you're designing a system around a piece of gear like this,
You have to respect that 5-meter limit for 4K 60.
Yeah.
It forces you to co-locate your switcher and displays much closer than you might initially think.
it changes the whole physical layout plan.
Mhm.
So there's your provocative thought. This incredibly capable digital heart has a very short physical leash, something to definitely mull over for your next high-spec AV install.